A little closer to home, the search is still on in Mason County for a man suspected of breaking into young women's homes in the middle of the night and watching them sleep. This may have happened at least 6 times, and police say the suspect could be targeting his victims using social media. Joining us over the phone this morning is Shelton Police Chief Darren Moody to talk about the latest in the investigation. Chief, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So I want to start with there seems to be some similarities here with the women involved. They're all young, 17 to I believe about 22 years old. They all work in the service industry, and they're all connected in some way on social media. So what do you make of that there's so many similarities and connections between the alleged victims here?
Well, we obviously take every precaution to warn the entire community, but we also specifically want to put out the information as to the women or young ladies that are being targeted here, because we try to look at all the similarities involved and find out what causes this man to do what he's doing and what tie is there in there with this.
When I first heard of this, and we talked to one of the young women, we got some video here because we went to her house and she talked about all the security. I mean, she's obviously freaked out. She put door alarms up. She got a dog. She's got a bat by her bed. So there is some concern here. And when I first heard this story, my concern was, yeah, he's watching him sleep now, but are you concerned for the potential that if this is happening, that this guy could actually escalate and do something more serious?
Absolutely. We really don't know why he's entering these homes, why he's picking these homes, and what his intentions are. So obviously we'd like to get it caught and resolved before it escalates into something worse.
What is the latest on your investigation? I want to put up just a description of the suspect for people. And I know sometimes on the news we put up these really vague descriptions of suspects. In this case, I think there's a couple distinguishing things. Dark, shaggy hair that someone could sort of look out for if there's someone lingering around a house. But what are your investigators doing right now to try to get this guy before things perhaps escalate?
Well, when it came to our attention last Thursday, and we kind of matched it with another similarity 2 weeks prior, we started doing some investigative work, and our detectives were able to find several victims that had not actually reported it to the police department or law enforcement in general. That evening, I contacted the sheriff in Mason County because a couple of these victims were actually out in the county, not within the city limits. And so we've put a team of investigators together on both sides between Mason County and Shelton Police Department that are working side by side, trying to gather as much information as they can from this.
What would your message be to any young women out there who, for whatever reason, perhaps have not reported this crime? You and I had a conversation yesterday leading up to this interview, and you just said that, as you repeated here, that there are some people who are posting about it, have told their friends about it, but haven't actually reported it to police. And I'll tell you what, if I woke up in the middle of the night to some guy at the end of my bed, 911 would be my first call. So your message to women out there who perhaps this has happened to and they have not called the police yet?
Absolutely. Call the local law enforcement agency in your jurisdiction, or just call the Shelton Police Department. In any jurisdiction, if this has occurred, please call us and let us know. It's important that we gather as much information as we can. Each victim may have something different that adds to the puzzle in this. And like you said, if you wake up and there's somebody in your house, please call 911 immediately and notify us. This started back in August is what we've tracked it back to.
Wow.
And who's to say that if we hadn't had information previously, we could have put information out there and put people on warning that this is going on. But take some precautions. Lock your doors when you're in for the evening especially. Pay attention to your surroundings. Report any suspicious vehicles, people, anything out of the ordinary that goes on. Please call and report the incidents.
Yeah, definitely. And as you've said before, make sure people aren't posting their locations and their whereabouts on social media. It's very, very important. Good advice for anyone. Shelton Police Chief Moody, we do appreciate your time this morning. We're hoping you guys get this guy before things escalate at all. So thanks for being with us.
Thank you for your help in that. And you made up a good point, which is the social media.
Yeah.
Please pay attention when you're posting on social media. Don't say you're on vacation and your house is empty. Don't post when and where you come from work. Those type of things. Yeah,
good advice for anyone, not just these young women who are out there being targeted. Chief, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, and like we were saying earlier, just creepy situation, the concern, of course, that it escalates. And, the chief and I had talked yesterday about the possibility, gosh, is this someone that they maybe know or something like that, because they have so many similarities. And I'll tell you what, if for some reason this is a friend playing a prank or doing something, which I'm not saying that it is, you know, this person is going to get shot. That's what's going to happen. Somebody's going to wake up, there's going to be an altercation, or, you know, things are going to escalate in some way. And so really important that police are able to get any information they can about this suspect so they're able to catch him before things get worse.
And a reminder, as he mentioned as well, you really have to think about what you're posting on social media. The fact that this is how he could be finding these victims is truly frightening.
Yeah, absolutely. And for these young women too, 17 to 22 years old, so parents out there with kids in that age range, you think they're old enough to sort of know better, but the reality is sometimes I post things, I'm like, oh gosh, I shouldn't have posted that. I need to take that down.
Right.
And so it's just a good thing for all of us to think about. And obviously, creepy situation. We're hoping that things don't get worse, and we know that the Shelton Police Department's on it.
All right, Brandy, thanks.
Yep.